Good morning, everybody. Fox It Outdoors here with another greenhouse update on a Tuesday. It is currently 10 o'clock in the morning. We are looking at about 45 degrees today. Actually pretty decently warm, which is fantastic. That'll be a good day to do some yard work and get some more stuff done in the greenhouse. But yeah, we're going to get you turned around here and show you what's all been happening and what other plans I have for the yard. So we'll get you turned around here and get you swapped around. We've got Peppermint, despite being snowed on and having about 4 inches of snow on it, barely even phased it any. Most of the brown you're seeing is actually the mulch that I put on top of it to help keep the bugs off. But all the rest of this stuff is all solid green coming out. Once I get some nice hot weather, this will take off. This one's still a little bit of a struggle on it, but it'll come back, guarantee. I do have a little bit of green interspersed here and there. It's hard to see because the tops are kind of brown due to the snow. But we're going to go wander over here real quick. I picked up 2 of these yesterday at Home Depot on my way home from work. I have big plans for these. I'm going to basically set a couple here along this wall. I have permission now to relocate these pots. I have 3 whiskey barrels and these 2 big blue pots. I already have a spot where the 2 big blue pots are going. Those are going to go on one of our back patios. And then I'll be working up on this. One of these is going to go directly in front of that window there. It's going to be a privacy screen as we have the couch right there. And then I'm going to put a shorter one. I'm going to put a 1-footer directly in front of it, so it'll give a little bit of rowage. And then I'm going to put 3 of these this way, right between this window and my patio end here. I might get 3, I might get 2. I don't know. I'm going to see. I have to figure it out. I'll have to do whatever I do. I have to make sure it doesn't interfere with parking, because we do have a lot of family coming over for holidays. We usually got about 8 or 10 cars in the yard throughout all of this yard. We have a lot of vehicles. But got my boxes for a package I need to send out to Kincaid Outdoors, aka Colin. I'll be trying to send that out in the next either today or tomorrow. We'll see what I get done. We're going to take a quick peek here at these potatoes. These are the ones I had planted about a month ago. And I already dug through this earlier. I had to refilm this because the filming was sideways and I don't have editing software, so just deleted it and started over. Hopefully this one will be a little shorter than the last one. But I was digging through this, and let's see if I can find it again. Yep, there we go. I have this small bit of green, which is telling me that this plant or potato hasn't died and it's actually going to be coming up. So I had noticed that the dirt was being pushed up slightly in this spot, so I wanted to check it. So I dug down and looked at it. But yeah, I got potatoes are growing up in there. Once these guys get the sunlight, I'll be taking the container, the lids off of them. Actually, I can probably take it off of this one. Let's check this guy real quick, folks. Let's see how he's doing. Apologies for the shadows and everything else on here as I'm filming. Ooh, let's see. I'm seeing nothing on here, but let's dig down a bit. This one, half this dirt feels frozen. Oh, man. I'm not sure if this one actually... There's my potato. Oh, yeah, nope. I got a little bit of growing on there. So the potato hasn't rotted. It's still completely solid. And I did see a shoot coming off of it, or an eye that was growing, so we're good there. I'm just going to leave them uncovered for now. Got my other mint doing spectacular. Mulch has actually helped these guys a lot. Usually in the wintertime they completely turn brown and they don't do much. I can show you by example over here on my main peppermint plant. This is the main pot that we normally have peppermint in. And as you see, I'm barely starting to get some of this growth now. after it's been warming up. But usually this whole pot looks as brown as this section here. It just overwinters, but this stuff does not die. This stuff really does not die. Unless you absolutely don't know how to care for plants, it's impossible to kill mint. So, we'll get to the greenhouse here in a moment, folks. Just wanted to show you a few more things. Hopefully this won't turn sideways on me and film weird. But I picked up another one of these little trellises. So I now have 4 of them. Haven't figured out what I'm going to do with them yet, but I bought them because I saw them and I know if I didn't buy them, I probably wouldn't get them again. And these are actually really good ones. I absolutely love the 4 to 5 inch spacing in between each rail. And it's not super wide, not super tall, but it's good for small climbing plants, which is what I want to utilize them for. I've got these 2 already completely redone. I sifted out all the dirt, took out all the rocks, drilled some new drain holes, refilled them with dirt. I just have the feet on it, the planter. Oh my god, I forgot what the heck the names of these things are. The pot bases. Anyways, I got those already done and filled. I've got this thing's about 3/4 of the way filled with dirt, plus my perlite and some other stuff. Or no, sorry, halfway filled. That whole 35-gallon bucket is filled with nothing but mulch. So it's all of this stuff. I have everything that I've saved. I keep it in there. So I've got mulch there, mulch there, mulch there, mulch in all of these. I got mulch everywhere. I keep it for the reasons of this. So you'll see all the green in there. Again, that was after 4 inches of snow were on top of it and it came back. But I digress, and let's get on with the show. Let's go into the greenhouse. Do a quick overview of everything so you guys can see all of the immaculate sea of green. Trying to get out of the way of the sun over here so my shadow's not in the way. But let's step on in and do a real quick tour of the happenings in the greenhouse. So we're going to start off with my canna plant. This was the one that got really big last year and did fantastic. I've already got multiple new growths on him. I think that's why I keep turning, my stuff keeps turning sideways, so I'm not filming right. Anyways, so look at this, check this guy out. I've got a new little growth there, new one here. This guy popped up about 2 weeks ago and has slowly been growing, but he'll get bigger. This guy's doing really well, and this one is getting really big too. Do got a couple little bugs on them here and there, but for the most part, once I get it outside, they'll go away. My little basil plant, doing really well. When I put him in here, he was only about 1.5 inches, 2 inches tall. He's actually growing a little bit. Growing fairly slow, but he's not getting a lot of sunlight. But he will today, once the sun peaks up a little higher and it gets this shade line goes away. He'll get a little bit of sun and he'll start getting slightly bigger. Hopefully. Then we've got my lettuces. These guys are doing really well as all. Don't know what language that was, but yeah. I can't speak today, folks. I am sorry. I am still half asleep. But lettuces are doing really well. I did have one back here that had stems that was going to, that bolted. But I had to cut it because the stems were infested with aphids, so I trimmed them. These are all some of the ones I transplanted that I had in the little grow pots, the burpee grow pot, the 36 cell burpee greenhouse starter garden kit, which was absolute trash. I don't care if I get flack for it, that thing was absolute garbage. I'm doing way better with the Jiffy stuff that I have now. That one's still growing on its own. But yeah, these were all transplants, all of these guys back in here, and they're getting really big. It's just enough, honestly, if you look at it, by the time you trim it, wash it, cut it, you have enough for about one salad. One good solid salad. But yeah, they'll get bigger. I'm just waiting for my seeds to start popping off of my flowers because I've got a ton of these flowers everywhere. I'm just waiting for the seeds so I can save the seeds. Gonna move over to my spinach pile. This was the sea of green a couple of weeks ago. Had to trim everything down because they were absolutely plastered with aphids. I was spraying them with... I dropped my spray. I was spraying them with this stuff. Wasn't getting rid of them. I was spraying them with this stuff. Wasn't getting rid of them. So I just cut every leaf off that had aphids on there. Washed absolutely everything off of there. Soaked it in salt water for like 3 hours just to get all the bugs off. Probably rinsed it out about 6 times just to keep everything out. Spinach tasted amazing though, let me tell you. It was really good. Had a nice crisp crunch to it even though it was soaked in water. Salt water for a few hours. Got more basil, or sorry, not basil. I keep saying basil. Basil on my mind today. Spinaches, spinaches, and spinaches. So you can see the time difference between these ones. I planted these ones in December. Planted these ones at the end of January. And I mean, these ones up here, like, I'm not joking, folks. These were probably almost about a foot tall on some of them. Especially this guy. I mean, that is a huge fat stalk compared to the rest of them. That guy was probably about a foot tall. He was actually almost touching the top of the lid up here on the greenhouse. But yeah, these guys are doing well. I got aphids on these ones, but I'm keeping them off. I keep brushing them off and squishing them, and hopefully they'll stop after a while. Time has got, well, apparently plenty of time on its hands. So what I have planned for this guy, I want to see if I can get him to root, because I know some plants, when you bury certain like branches, stalks, they usually send out roots and reseed. I'm planning on burying these two here, adding about 1 inch of dirt, 2 inches of dirt on this. I want to fill this pot a little bit more, just so the roots aren't nearly exposed. And then hopefully it'll reset itself and send out roots. Essentially, I'm hoping it'll do the same thing a tomato plant will do, which is reseed itself in the ground and send out legs so it can grow better. My rosemary, doing really good. Hasn't died. Hasn't gotten much bigger, but I do have a little bit of new growth on it here and there, which is good for it. But it'll go better once I get it out in the sun. Again, everything is just in the greenhouse to overwinter for the season, or considered our winter season here in New Mexico. Just because this seemed to have kept everything alive, and most of these plants, if I would have had them outside, would already be dead. So here's the tragedy of bugs, folks. These were my radishes. I had to cut every leaf off because they were absolutely plastered. And I mean plastered. So you see all these little white speckles everywhere on my pot? All of these are carcasses. Dried out husks, carcasses from all of the bugs that I had to kill over and over and over. They just would not stop, so I got rid of it. If I lose all my radishes, oh well. I usually grow these things in about 60 days anyway when they're outside normally. I just have them in the greenhouse for, again, wintering purposes. I've got my little basil plants. I chopped off the main stalk. Let's see if I can see it. Here we go. I had the original main stalk was right there. That was about that tall. I cut it off because it wasn't doing anything. This guy grew out from one of the roots, which is funny, but I'm not complaining because I'll have a little one in there. To be honest, this pot is actually too small. This guy's probably only going to get maybe about 8 to 10 inches tall, maybe a foot at best. But he'll have some huge leaves, trust me. He'll have some huge leaves. I mean, look at how short that plant is, and look at how big the leaves are already. I mean, each one of those leaves is almost about an inch long and about probably almost half an inch to 3/4 inch wide. My oregano going like the wind here. This thing is taking off. So it looks like season 1, when you're growing oregano, it looks like the first season or two, it grows along the ground to spread out to get as wide as possible. And then you start getting these verticals. So these are all uprights. After this, see, I got tons of them over here too. Tons of verticals. So in my experience, this is what I figured out, that for the first year these things grow, they'll grow along the ground and spread out like weeds or like vines, and then they'll start growing upwards once they're situated and rooted. Got my Turkish Speedwell. Slow grower on this one. I think when I put him in here, he had more green on it, but I think I gave him too much dirt. See, I got all these exposed roots over here I need to trim out. So just yank them off. They're dead anyway. Ain't doing anything. Yeah, they just came right out. That one's not quite dead. I think I need to pull them out of the pot and take about an inch of the dirt off the bottom and stick them back in there. My rake, my thyme, my bell peppers, my 3 bell peppers. This one came back. This one came back. Don't know how, don't know why. I still can't figure out how to grow these things, so this is literally all just a learning experience for me. If it takes me 2 years to learn how to grow these perfectly, then it's going to take 2 years to learn how to grow these. There is no failure in gardening. What you learn is ways not to do stuff. So, my patio peas, planted these guys 12/30, so right at the end of December. It's been a little about 3 months. But I am doing, these are actually doing surprisingly well. So I've got 1 pea there, got a flower, I've got 3 flowers here, already got a pea there, and I got a pea here. And yes, I'm talking about peas everywhere, peeing all over the place. I've got 2 little flowers here, 2 big old fat pea pods here, and I do mean fat pea pods, look at that. Those are getting nice. I've got 2 more here on this side, getting close to harvesting. Oh, they will be ready soon. I'm gonna get this flower skin off of there. And look at this. Same pot, I've got 2 more flowers up here. And yeah, this is going really, really well. I've been dealing with aphids on these guys too. I've been trying to spray them off every couple of days. I don't want to cause too much harm to the leaves, because if you do that, the leaves don't photosynthesize and you don't get a big plant. You get small plants. But yeah, I'm liking the way this is growing. Still have my climbing system in here. I wish they made these things where these were every couple of inches instead of like a foot apart, but that's just how they make them because they're cheap, and that's how manufacturers make money. But anyways, I've got my fly paper back here catching all the bugs and the stuff that's been flying around in here, which has been driving me absolutely insane. So I've had this in here for about a week and a half, give or take. But yeah, other sad part of the gardening spectrum, my other radishes, I had to do the exact same thing to these ones. I left a few little leaves here and there on some of them just so they could still photosynthesize and get some sunlight and grow. But for the absolute most part, I'm still dealing with bugs. Not nearly as bad, but like I said, I threw a couple of my little snails up in here to try to help keep the bug population down. These guys do move around. I do see them all over the place. I'll see them hanging off the leaves, off the stalks, in the dirt, walking around. See, I got a big one back in here. There he is. See, he's even got his little antennae out. So he's moving around. He's actually got an aphid on his shell, which is funny. But, yeah. I'm going to go move down here to the dahlia pots. I still got them in here. They just haven't done anything because they're not really getting a lot of sunlight. And then for some reason I got a puddle of water down here, which is weird because I didn't water anything yesterday. Oh yeah, sorry, I did. I watered my patio peas yesterday, which drains into here, which drains into here. The surface of the dirt is dry, but trust me, after you go down about 1 inch, it's soaking wet. I don't know why. This is like this weird lightweight, almost like mulch stuff, but you can see I've got one dahlia there, but it hasn't done anything. Again, because they're not in the sun. The bug just tried to fly in my mouth. I do have one dahlia popping up here. And then I got a bunch of little random microgreen stuff growing in here. I don't know what half of it is. They're just like little plants. It's kind of odd. Could again just be whatever I had mixed in the dirt to begin with. My daisy plant, I had growth on it and it kind of died off. I don't know what happened. I think I overwatered it or didn't give it enough water or it wasn't getting enough sunlight. I don't think it's 100% dead. I think it will come back. If not, sorry, I will put something else in here if absolutely necessary. So it's not like I can't buy these plants anyway. They're everywhere. My carrots are doing really well. I've got, check this one out back here, guys. I've got a decent sized carrot. Just keep them covered so the roots don't dry out. But I'll probably pick a few of these in the next couple of days because I want to redo this pot as well. Get the soil strained out and resituated. My carrots on my other pot. These are the stems I pulled off of the basil plants, the few that I had that weren't doing anything. I've got one little carrot growing right there, one right there, still my lettuce, one there, one there. Carrots don't seem to be doing too well. I got to figure out a better soil blend or something. They are not working out the way I want them to. I've got my yucca plant over here. Absolutely enthralled with its space. It loves it in here. And check it out. I got one of my little snail friends is chilling up here. Right there. And check this out, guys. My pride and joy right now is this guy. Is my pumpkin plant. Still hoping I get pumpkins in July once he goes outside. I've got about 10 flower heads on there at least that I'm counting. Probably 12. But yeah, he's going crazy in here. My other oregano, this is the Italian oregano. Yeah, the Italian oregano. And he's growing. I got to trim him down actually, he's getting too big. And then this one here is my lettuce, which is doing really well. And I've got some good sized leaves on this. I mean, that's almost enough for... That's actually just about enough for a restaurant-style salad serving. We've got basil. Basil. Ugh. Even says it on the pot. Looking right at it. I still couldn't figure out what it was. Basil doing really well. Growing about an inch and a half in the last 2 weeks. Easy. And there goes the clouds. So I lost a lot of sunlight, folks. My long and tall parsley, which I just figured out yesterday was the name of this stuff. The other one, the seed pack that I originally planted it from didn't really tell me what it was. It just said parsley. There's apparently multiple varieties of this one. This was just long and tall. This is like, I guess, your garnish style parsley where you just chop them off and then lay them as garnishes on like steaks and dishes for restaurants. So growing massively well on here. This was my original pot. This one is doing really well. My onions, I've been trimming these every few days, and I mean, I just trimmed this one a couple of days ago. You can see the clear cut on there, the layer, and that's grown. Some of those have grown 2 inches. The bugs all over these, driving me nuts. Same with my chives. I trimmed them off. You can see the cut marks. Made some excellent steaks with some seasoning on there. No, I did not film it. I'm sorry. I do apologize on that one. My other spinach. Jesus. Still dealing with the bugs on these ones as well, but I had to trim some of it off. I'll probably trim this all off the next day or two. Or by next week, it'll all be trimmed down, and I'll be growing some more stuff in there, because parsley, tongue-tied. Spinach does not take long to grow. This stuff grows really fast. Got strawberries. This one's for Mallory over at Quebec Homestead. Jesus. Tongue-tied, sorry folks. I've got strawberries galore on these Mallory. Look at these. They're just going absolutely bonkers. These are all on my strawberries. All of my strawberries are just going. Like everywhere. Look at this. Strawberry, 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 strawberry. Strawberries. I've got a ton of strawberries back there. Look at all the flowers. Look at all the strawberries. Like, ridiculous amount of strawberries on these things this year. I probably got 3 times more strawberries than I've ever had on these plants in the last 5 years. But let's get turned around over here. This video's starting to get a little winded, so I'm going to start wrapping it up shortly. I have my winter squash down here. Only got 2 of the 3 that I planted, but I'm fine with that. Each one of these plants will probably produce about 15 or 20 melons anyway. Again, with this, I just like turning these guys every couple of days so they get equal amount of sunlight. But yeah, check it out. This one's for Johnny and Johnny Harper over at Scout's Table, as well as Sean from North Shore Preparedness. And you know what? Even Mallory, because Mallory's grown potatoes before, and she grew some massive ones. These are my potato plants. I planted them a little over 2 weeks ago in here, and they are growing really well. Really bad part is my dirt's already dropped about 1 inch, because when I put them in here, the dirt was at the top of this. It's already sank about 1 inch on this one. But they're doing really well. I checked through here with a stick the other day, and they are sending out roots everywhere. I had a little guy down here. Where'd he go? There he is. Little guy right there. Growing up. In my other one, I planted one in here just to see how well it would do. I didn't want to overcrowd because I've never planted potatoes before. This is the first time I did it, so yeah, really happy with these. So it seems all of the potatoes that I've planted this season, or for this run, have, well, I can't say germinated because technically they grow eyes. I don't know how a potato germinates, but I guess it's germinated. But it's growing. Everything is basically coming up daisies. I've got a lot of growth in here, and everything is looking prime. I absolutely cannot wait until summer starts. And I have a bug over here. I'm going to squish it because it's bugging me. Flyers. Anyways, let's creep out of here real quick, folks, before I get stuck on everything, because I have a very narrow walk space. Look at this. I've got my heater right there. These things are up on a riser just so they can get some more sunlight, because I have no more room on the floor to put anything. And y'all can see every shelf is full. Like, I've got something on every shelf, and I'm running out of space. But yeah, so that's it for this one. I'm going to close this guy up for a little while, let it get warm in there again. So I'll finish her off here. I'll go back to my sitting square. And yeah, let's get you guys turned around so y'all can see me while I finish this video off and get this ended. But yeah, do me a favor, folks. If you've managed to make it this far, hit that thumbs up if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, hit that thumbs down. Comment on the video what you liked, what you didn't like, what I can do better. If you've got any opinions, I'm more than welcome them. Share this out with your friends and family, anybody that you know that gardens. I do a lot of container gardening, and I'm just starting out, so I'm a newbie container gardener. Not like some of those folks out there that have been doing this for 10 years, 15 years. I'm just barely starting out. This will be my second season. I'm still learning quite a lot. So if you got people that want to learn, send them my way. If they've got questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And also do me another favor, hit that subscribe button. This way you get notifications for any future video I put out, whether it be a live stream or another garden update. So you guys take care, have a wonderful day, and this is going to be Fox It Outdoors signing off.